Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be looking at this MacBook Air which I purchased off eBay. I paid £206 for this and apparently it's got a power issue. It's the A1932 and basically it was sold on eBay as potential liquid damage, and I have attempted to at least power this up and it does have a bit of a strange issue. But while I've got your attention, if you are new to the channel and you like this type of content, then I would appreciate it if, number one, you get subscribed and turn on the bell notifications, and that way you don't miss any future videos. And number two, give the video an early thumbs up. It makes me look a little bit more popular and makes the algorithm like me. Also, if you want to support me on these little endeavours, if you want to help me to continue buying stuff like this just to make videos, then I would really appreciate it if you head over to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber. You can link an Amazon Prime account to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber absolutely free. It helps me out, but it doesn't cost you a penny. If you've already got Amazon Prime, then you can just head over there, link the two accounts, and do it that way. There's also a link to Patreon in the video description if you want to support me. Patreon and channel members as well. Join button below. But Patreon and channel members as well get early access to videos. So, with that being said, let's get into this one. Right, so this does have a rather interesting issue. So I've already attempted to power this on, like I said. So if I grab the USB ammeter here, and if I attempt to turn it on with just a normal battery, it's not doing anything. Nothing at all is happening whatsoever. But if I plug it into a USB ammeter, and now it's not working, it was. There we go. Okay, so it's got 5 volt, 0.26 amps, and then it jumps up to 20 volts, and it's very low current draw. So you can see here half an amp max, and it goes into this kind of power cycle thing where it'll just keep boot looping. So hopefully you can see that there. And hopefully you can hear that dong as well. So it does light up with a backlight, and I did see the Apple logo once. So if we load up the listing here, but you can see here that I paid £196.35 plus £10 postage. And if you look at the description here, yeah, it is water damaged. So structurally good, no large dents or scratches, screen intact, serial number, blah blah blah. 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB SSD. So it is water damaged. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, let's take a look. Let's see what we can do. But it's a MacBook Air 1.6 gigahertz, 1.6 gigahertz, 2019, and it's 8 GB of RAM. Okay, so I'm going to get this apart. I'm going to just take off this case here, and then we'll take it from there. And okay, already I'm seeing a fair amount of liquid damage here. Yeah, let's pop this under the microscope a second and I'll show you what I'm seeing. Right, so right off the bat then, I can see a little bit of corrosion around by the LCD, but that shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be too bad. But I do also have some corrosion around here. Now, that's not even the main issue I've seen. So the main issue I've seen just by looking inside, we've also got some corrosion around by this speaker connector, which is fine. Some corrosion around here, which is, I think this is the SSD, I'm not sure. But we've also got a lot of rust around here. So yeah, there's definitely some issues here. I don't know what IC this is, but that's definitely going to need fixing. It's definitely going to need sorting out. I believe that's all I've found so far, but we could have other issues. Doesn't look like this has been taken apart, to be honest. It looks like the screws are intact and not chewed or anything, which is good. I think this is either a private seller or just someone who doesn't sell many of these, which is one of the reasons I was drawn to this. We've also got some corrosion around the USB ports, which is why it didn't work the first time. So they're going to need fixing. And another thing as well, I did notice when I attempted to turn it on that there was a little bit of liquid damage on the LCD. So we might have an issue with that as well. And I believe that's it so far. So we're going to need to tackle that primary liquid damage first. So what I'll do then is just take apart the MacBook, take the motherboard out, and yeah, just take it from there really. So let's unplug the battery and let's see what it does with the battery unplugged. 5 volts. That appears to be drawing current a little bit quicker. Is it going to boot up with no battery? It does dong. Is it just going to boot loop? I believe so. Yeah, so it's just going to boot loop then. We do have a little bit of liquid damage down here. Let's wait for that to boot again, and you should be able to spot it now you know where it is. Just there. So there is a little bit of liquid damage just there. Okay. Now, whether I'm going to need to change the screen or whether that will just dry out, I don't know. We also have corrosion around here. We'll tackle all of that later on. I'm not really that bothered about that right now. I'm actually going to get some gloves on because I don't know what this liquid is. Could be anything. There we go. That's better. Got the pink gloves. Trackpad cable's got a tiny bit of corrosion just down here. That one screw don't seem to want to come out. Okay, that's why. So the actual standoff has come out with it. Alright, so I've got the board out. I'm not going to worry about the rest of the housing for now. I just want to work on the board. So looking at the back of the board, it looks okay. I will give it a visual inspection under the microscope, but it does look okay on the back. Alright, so this is the back of the board then. So I'm just going to go over this, see if I can find anything what might be concerning. But like I said, it does look okay from a visual inspection. The good thing is there's not really much to these boards. It doesn't take long to inspect them, which is cool. And yeah, that looks absolutely fine. So on the front of the board, like I said, we've got some corrosion around here, which, you know, I'm not really that bothered about that corrosion. You know, I don't care about audio if I can't get the board to boot. You know, why would we want audio if we can't get it to boot up? So I'll worry about that sticker a bit later. But it looks like we are going to need to take it off. So the main focus right now, I think, is going to be this area here and this area here. Right, so here's a schematic in the wonderful Paul Daniels Flex Board View software. This is basically a schematic reader and board view reader for pretty much anything, not just MacBooks, not just Apple stuff, but pretty much anything. If you've got a board view, you can open it in Paul Daniels' software. Absolutely fantastic. There will be a link to this in the video description. Not sponsored, but honestly, Paul Daniels is a absolutely 100% amazing member of this community. And the software he creates is just obviously, you know, second to none. You cannot beat it. So if we go to the Flex Board Viewer here, we look at the area which is corroded. All of these inductors around here are all corroded, or a lot of them are. So we've got inductors for VCC core, VCC core. And it looks like all of these are going to be VCC core. So what we can do here is we can search the PDF and find out exactly what these are. So if we click on the PDF here, it'll take us straight to L7820, which is a 0.47 microhenries, 4.8 amp, 0.034 ohm inductor. So I don't think we need to replace those, but we will need to reflow this area. So looking back here then, yeah, this is one of the main power management ICs, which could explain a boot loop. So I think I'm going to clean it up first, So what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up the area. I'm going to get some preheat into the board. And I'm going to leave my hot air at 480. It doesn't really matter, because I'm just going to be moving the air around a little bit. And I'm not going to be reflowing anything yet. I just want to preheat the board. And the reason for that is because it's going to make it a lot easier for me to clean this stuff up, whatever it is. It's going to make it a million times easier for me to clean it all up. So just preheat the board until it's nice and warm to the touch. Just give it a little bit more time. Let's see if I can do anything about this sticker at the same time. So the reason I want to lift this off is because I want to just check around this area for any kind of corrosion. This is the T2 chip. I think this is, if I remember correctly, this is some sort of encryption chip for the SSD. And if that goes, I don't think there's a fix. But yeah, we've removed that sticker anyway. And as you can see, we do have some corrosion around here. Not a lot, but there is a little bit. But nothing major. So I don't think the SSD is much of a problem. This is the SSD, these two chips here. I think these are both 128 modules. So yeah, the board's nice and warm. And that's another reason I wanted to warm the board up, because I can actually get to the SSD and things now. It does make it easier to lift off stickers without damaging them. But what I'm going to do, I've just sprayed some isopropyl alcohol and I'm just going to give it a bit of a scrub. I'm not expecting this to do anything. We do need to actually deal with that corrosion and potentially replace a few components. But I just want to clean it up just so I can see exactly what I'm dealing with. I'm only cleaning in the area which I'm focusing on. I'm not going to clean the entire board because I don't really want to forget what I've done. Okay, let's just dry that off. Cool, that's fine. So we definitely had some corrosion on the edge of the chip, and I'm going to say that there's probably corrosion underneath there as well. Just given the fact that we've got some damage around here, there was corrosion in this bottom corner. These inductors have rusted a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just reflow this area. So I'm going to reflow the chip itself and the inductors on the edge as well. So I'll add a little bit of flux, and then I'm at 440 degrees Celsius now because I don't really want to put too much heat into it in terms of when I'm reflowing things. I know I was at 480 a second ago, but that's different because I'm not actually putting direct heat on any one area of the board. I'm just heating from above to preheat the area. So I'm just going to move the air backwards and forwards for a little while. And then I'm going to slowly start to focus on the VGA itself. And what the reflow is going to do, it's not going to fix any chip or any chip issues, but it is going to just wash out any corrosion. So we've got a little bit of heat into there. I'm going to add a little bit more flux. Okay, I think I need a bit more flux here. And that sucks because I think this chip's underfilled. No, I don't think it is. No, that's not underfilled. That's definitely some sort of a soft drink, some juice or something. Okay, that actually reflowed that time. Took a little bit, so I think there probably was some corrosion under there. So usually when you're trying to reflow a BGA chip, it's because there's potentially corrosion under there that you want to get rid of, and a lot of the time you'll tend to find that the chip will kind of stick for a little while until you've washed all of the gunk from under there, especially if it's some sort of a soft drink where there's a lot of sugary content. So let's just clean this up, get it to give us a nice sizzle. Notice how I waited about 15 seconds or so for the solder to settle back down. I don't want to sit there scrubbing this while the solder's still molten. That would be rather silly. You're going to end up knocking components everywhere, including ruining the VGA, and then you've got to sit there and reball the thing. So is that rust on these inductors? I don't think it is. I think it's just some sort of sugary content. I'm not really worried about that too much. I will potentially sit there and scrub that a little bit better later. Let's have a look at what these components are down here. So if we look back at U7800, we've got these components here which are just basically capacitors, but they are going to make a difference. These are PP3V3 G3 hot, G3 hot, G3 hot. Yeah, they're all PP3V3 G3 hot. Okay, so that's a 3.3 volt line. So let's test that. So let's have a closer look at this. It doesn't seem to be too bad, but let's just look with the multimeter. So with the multimeter in diode mode then, I do have a video explaining what diode mode is and how to use it properly. So if you want to check that out, then by all means check out the channel, there is a video there. But if we test the PP3V3_G3 hotline in diode mode, we've got the red probe on ground. And we get a diode reading of 0.333, so that's about what I would expect. So the 3v3 line isn't short, which is fantastic. And that also means that we probably don't have any merge balls underneath this chip here, which is also good news. So that's fine. Now these inductors which are a little bit corroded, they are for PVCC core. So let's just have a look at those in diode mode and see what that reading gives us. I'm expecting a little bit of a lower reading here. 0.023. I don't think that's short. I think they are low impedance lines. So yeah, I think they're going to have a low resistance to ground. Let's test the 1v8 line, which is on an inductor just above there. So just above here, according to the board view, we've got P1V8 sleep. We get 0.147, so that line's not short. P0V9 is next to that for the RAM, I think. We get 0.017. Again, that's what I would expect from a low impedance line. Let's have a look at SW0 on the same 0.0V line or 0.0 volt line. And again, 0.017, fine, in line with what I would expect. We've got a 1v1 line right next to there, 0.230. Yep, okay, that's fine. We've got another separate 1v1 line there, and again, that's fine, seems reasonable. PVDD CPU awake, 0.005. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be a low impedance line, given that it's a CPU rail. These are all for PVDD CPU awake, different switches, I believe. So let's just get some more readings. Not getting a contact on that one. Okay, low impedance, but I am getting a reading. Just a little bit awkward to get. Again, getting a reading, but low impedance. That's fine. I believe that's to be expected. And yeah, I think that one's fine as well. And again, a 0V8 line on this inductor here. 0.12, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Or at least it should be. And this final inductor down here is another 0.8V line. And again, yeah, low impedance, but reading fine. I don't think there's any shorts around here. 0.198, yeah. Not getting any bad readings around that IC. So let's focus on this area here then. So we did have some corrosion. I may have cleaned it up. No, it's here. There it is. So we've got a couple of MOSFETs just here, just below the T2 chip. Is that MOSFET for CPU V core? Let's have a look. No, it's a 5-volt line, apparently. And 3V3. Alright. So let's just clean that area up. So I thought they would have been CPU MOSFETs. So again, I'm going to give this area a bit of a reflow to start off with, and then I'll take it from there. Well, I'm actually going to remove the MOSFETs, I think. This one I'm not going to remove. I removed this to make sure there was nothing underneath it, but it's fine. Damn it. Oh, rats. Oh, I've messed up. Whoops. Okay, I've lost a cap here. That's not good. I guess I'll have to figure out what that is. In fact, I might just replace some of those. Alright, let's just have a look here a second. Okay, that's knackered. So usually if you can just flick a cap off or flick a component off, it's because it's corroded and because it's bad. And I've got a feeling these ones are going to flick off as well. Yeah. So they need replacing, or that one does. That one's fine. Those are okay. That needs replacing. Okay. Alright then, so yeah, we do need to replace a few components here. So if I go back to the board view here and we take a look, we've got C786, we've got a 3 picofarad, it's an 0201, and it says 100 volt. So I'm going to need to find this on another board, and unfortunately that one's not available on the donor board I've got. So I'm going to ignore that one and hope it works. R7674 is no stuff. 7674 for the capacitor is no stuff. C7660 is a 2.2 microfarad, 25 volt 0402. C8034. There it is. By U7800. There we go. Let's find out what this component is. 2.2 microfarad, 25 volt. Alright. C7934. Other side of U7800. So this area I need to prep. There we go. Alright, let's find out what this one is. But first, let me just prepare it. A little bit tricky getting inside there. Let's just figure this out. So it's CC717. This is going to be a picofarad, isn't it? Yeah, 12 picofarads. Let's find that. C8474. Find out where that is on the board. Should be easy to find. Right, so I've gone with C8196 instead because that was the wrong size. I didn't realise until I saw it. And also it was corroded on this board as well. So yeah, this is the same one. It's going to be rather tricky getting to this. Might be best to turn the board round. So yeah, rather tricky this one. Very close to a shield and an inductor or coil, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to coil it. Ha. So I'm going to leave it in place. I'm going to go for some really low 5% airflow. And it shouldn't blow out the way. It should just float itself down, to be honest. There we go. Damn it. That's it, it's on. I don't care if it's slanted. Do you? Well, tough, because it's my MacBook. Ha! A bit of a scratch there. Oh well. Okay, let's just clean this up. Just get rid of that corrosion there. Yep, that seems fine. Okay. Right, so I've taken care of the corrosion and I think I've got it all. Don't think there's anything that I've missed, and I'm not seeing anything that's majorly concerning. Obviously a little bit of corrosion around some of those CPU lines, that's going to cause big issues. But let's just plug it in and let's just see if we get anything different. So I'm just going to hook up bare necessities to be able to power it on. Charger port's being a little baby and doesn't want to go on properly, so I'm going to secure it in from this side, and I'm actually going to clean the charge port as well. Alright, let's just see what we get on the ammeter here when I plug this in. $5 volts, 20 volts. Is it going to power cycle? I don't think it is. Don't want to see that reset. That might be booting. Maybe. I don't know. Oh no, that's just my charger. Never mind. Okie dokie, that's everything hooked up apart from the battery. Don't really mind if the battery's not plugged in. I don't think it needs the battery to boot. Something else is causing the boot loop. I don't think it was boot looping when there was nothing plugged into it. Yeah. Let's start unplugging stuff. Start with the trackpad. Yeah, so something appears to be wrong with the trackpad or the keyboard. So we do have that liquid damage here. That there is reflections, but there is a bit of liquid damage here. Also appears as though we've now got no image, but we had an image before, or I did see an image. I can see a backlight, I can't see an image. So yeah, given the issues I've found, I think it needs too much. We've got a very damaged audio cable or audio board. That's no good. The battery, I don't think is any good. It's not even detecting a battery. We've got no image on the screen. The trackpad or the keyboard is causing a boot loop. And I can see corrosion all around the trackpad here. Yeah, I think this needs too much work, to be honest. I think it's... it may be a case where we might be able to get another housing. Yeah, maybe the board works perfectly fine. I don't know. Yeah, I think it needs too much work, to be honest. The LCD is liquid damaged. At the minute it's not showing an image, so that could very well be a bad T-con board on the LCD itself. The trackpad is very corroded, and I'm going to say that probably needs replacing, or maybe the keyboard, that's expensive on its own. The battery isn't being picked up. Yeah, maybe the board works. It is attempting to boot, and it does appear to want to boot, but whether or not it's actually booting, I don't know. So I think at the minute this is pretty much just down apart as it stands, which kind of sucks. Because that's £200 down the drain. But yeah, I mean, we did at least get it a little bit further, so we figured out why it's boot looping, or one of the reasons it's boot looping. One of the reasons it's boot looping is because of the trackpad. So the trackpad is causing a boot loop, and yeah, there was definitely some corrosion around CPU V cores, so that could be, or rather the CPU lines, power rails, whatever they are. So that could have been causing some sort of a kernel panic, but it does seem to still be kernel panicking, and I don't know why. Yeah, I think there's just too much work that would need doing to this to make it an economically viable fix. If it was for data recovery, then maybe, but in terms of actually getting it working as a laptop, I mean, just the screen alone is going to put me back another £150 for this. You know, I might be able to get another housing for this, I don't know. But do I really want to spend the money when, you know, I'm better off just calling it quits and losing the money that I've already lost? You know, it's content at the end of the day. It's fun to work on. I enjoy doing it, so it is what it is. That is a risk that we have to take on eBay, and I don't think this is anything shady that the seller's done. I genuinely don't. I think that the seller's been genuine in the fact that they've given it an inspection, and that it's just not. They've probably already realised that it's not worth fixing. You know, it is what it is, I suppose. But you know, it happens, and life's a bitch. And then you buy something on eBay. Never mind. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, then please leave them down in the comment section down below. I do enjoy reading what people have to say. And if you do want to support me in any way, if you feel sorry for me, I am getting a little bit skinny, spending too much on MacBooks, not enough on food. So if you do want to support me in any way, then you can head over to Patreon. There's a link in the video description. You can become a channel member by using the join button below the video, or you can head over to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.